Hello, it's Wednesday.
What's that? Hello. All right, Governor.
How we doing?
Do apologise.
Fucking shocking. I come on to the show. Thank fuck it's Wednesday. Is in the name of the show. All right.
I just love the fact we sort of come on to StreamYard about 30 minutes before the show, give or take, and we just let loose on how our day's been and everything that's annoyed us, and then we come on, we go, hi everybody, how's things? Buy some comics.
Big grins, big grins.
It's been great.
Smile.
Tits and teeth, isn't that what they say?
It's been
Why
great.
is my head so red, by the way? Why is my head? Why?
I said you looked a little bit.
It's your head,
You look like
Peter.
you've got jaundice, and I'm like, my head's like a fucking tomato. What's going on?
It's your head, Pete. I'm just gonna. Here we go.
You look like a little cherry tomato.
I'll take that. I've been called worse.
You're very excitable tonight, Pete, aren't you?
I am.
You're blushing.
I'm blushing. Yeah, it's my age. Menopause.
How are we both doing anyway? All good?
I'm okay. I'm just worried about Peter, to be honest, at this point.
Marvellous.
If anything does go wrong, Pete, just hold up a sign and we will stop we'll stop immediately. We'll get you off the stream and then we'll carry on.
Good stuff.
Okay?
Good stuff.
So, how are we all doing? Like, all good. It's Thank Fuck It's Wednesday. We are back every single week. This is the show that keeps you in the know of the comics coming out within the next 3 or 4 weeks. Sponsored by James over at Slab Crusaders. Fantastic site, fantastic salesman. Constantly doing the bits, doing loads of stuff. Doesn't sleep. Is into
Doing the bits.
doing the bits. He's always doing
Is
bits
that
over on Facebook where he's like either.
I thought you were getting some
those
special
bits.
treatment that we weren't getting.
No.
Yeah.
If he's over on
There's a
Facebook,
discount for you.
it is with his Pokemon cards and his comics and whatever else he's getting into. But yeah, busy man. But it's beneficial for us because we get great comics perfectly delivered, loads and loads of stickers for the kids to play with, and yeah, that's just how it goes.
And I get to do my favourite thing, which is putting lots and lots of slides together based on the FOC releases.
You do. You do
yeah,
indeed.
Feast your eyes on this lot, ladies and gents.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's Wednesday. Thank fuck it's Wednesday. This is obviously FOC. So, as you know by now, Pete, this has changed a lot since you was since we first did this show. Now, when we first did this show, it was, I think, what was it, 6 hours, 4 minutes and 12 seconds that it took. But we've narrowed it down now. We had a second one where we thought that was working well. Then we had a third one where Andy decided to come up with, we just go with the slides, and it seemed to work so much better. So we're sticking with that one. So thanks, Andy. Thank you very much for sorting it out, doing something I was incapable of doing. But yeah, it's great.
You're welcome.
That's all right, mate. It's all right. But anyway, this is Thank Fuck It's Wednesday. These are the comics, the final cut-off, which is going to be on Sunday, 9 p.m. over at Slab Crusaders. So we'll go through the keys, we'll go through the top picks, comic picks, number ones, and then we'll go through some like facsimiles and everything like that. So up first, we have the top picks. Right, I've gone. So I mentioned this. This was my cover. I think issue number 3 was my cover a few weeks ago of Slow Burn. It's a really enjoyable comic. I really, really like it. It's from Boom Studios. I think we mentioned on the Killer Comic Show a couple of weeks ago that Boom Studios had kind of dropped the ball a bit, we felt, like after the last couple of years that they'd had where they was putting loads of stuff out. Berserker being one of them. I think James in the comments mentioned that they'd probably made so much money off that, they was just like, we can't be bothered. Ross Ritchie's got a new role, so he's kind of just handed it over and stuff. But this, like Slow Burn, I'm really, really enjoying it. It's about 2 people, Roxanne and Patty. They're kind of, just trying to think, like, without giving it too much away, the premise of it is that they're like young teenagers and they're kind of finding their feet and they're getting up to mischief and stuff like that. And obviously with issue 5, which is coming out on the 28th of February, so we've got like 2.5 weeks for that. Rox and Patty are faced with one final all or nothing showdown with Kerry and his men, with all the chips on the table, with 2 of them to be able to make it out alive, or will the fires claim 2 more victims? If you liked Charred at Fire S, like type of stuff, you're going to love this, because it's kind of, it's like a murder mystery type of thing, and the fire is like the end element to it. It seems a bit more adulted from Boom Studios. You know, like it's kind of with Boom Studios and stuff like that. You've got like Alice in Wonder, Alice Ever After and stuff like that. It's kind of aimed at, I don't know, the teenagers. This for me was kind of aimed at like more adult themed. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if either of you have read it. Since we
This one's totally passed me by, I have to say. When you first put this up, I thought it was that one that we've been reading recently about the there's like the creature in the fire. Is that I can't remember what that one's called. Charred Remains or something like that.
Oh, that's Chardonnay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what this one, but no, this one's totally passed me by, Charlie. It's 5 issues in. I'll have to try and pick it up and see what it's about.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think this is a lot of issue as well, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
It's only 5 issues.
Okay.
Completely passed me by as well, but I think this will be one that, rather than me picking up this last issue, I'll probably wait till it comes in the trade and consume it that way.
No, the thing is, it totally passed me by until I see the cover the other week, and I was like, "Oh, this actually looks good." And then I kind of looked into it, read up on it, and it's one of them. Like we say it time and time again, you have ups and downs when you're reading comics. You get into them and you read a load. I literally sat down the other night and read all of them. I was like, how have I missed this?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you sit and you think, how the hell have I missed this comic? But
because there's so much. There are so many. I mean, James, if he's still in the chat, and you a rough estimate, how many comics come out per month? Do you know what I mean? It must be hundreds and hundreds. So things do just pass you by, you know. Like some of the books we've talked about, like what do you call it? I was getting the title wrong. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Oh yeah.
If somebody hadn't mentioned that to me, you know, we'll be up to like issue 3 now. Would have just totally passed because I would never pick it up, you know.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that's kind of the importance of shows like this, where it's all through recommendations and word of mouth for a lot of the comics. Like the last maybe like Blood Commandment, I had completely missed unless you guys had mentioned it to me, or if I need an excuse to read something, if it's going to be through the show. Yeah. That's kind of what I missed over like the New Year period and stuff like that until I started coming back on the show. I think there was 17 pages of new comics for this FOC week. So it just gives you an idea how many are out there. So I think when this comes out in trade, I'll definitely give it a read.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it's written by Alan Masters, art by Pierluigi Minotti, and then the cover art is by Matt Taylor. This comes out in 3 weeks it's 2 weeks, February the 28th. Looking forward to that one. So who was this one? Did Tom pick this?
No, that was you. You as well.
Oh, was it me? Oh, okay. As I said, long day. So I'm massively on the Suicide Squad thing. They've got the new Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League computer game that's coming out pretty soon. I like the Suicide Squad, and one of the main things I picked this was because Dan Panosian's done a cover for this. So he's
of course, I knew that when I was putting this slide together. I was like, I wonder why he picked this. That's why I picked it.
See, I would have gone for this for a cover, but I picked another one. But this kind of ticks both boxes. So obviously, this is before the Suicide Squad sets sights on the corrupt Justice League in the upcoming video game. There we are. They have to escape Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum.
Awesome Asylum.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum. A bit painful, but there you go.
Yeah. I couldn't walk for a few weeks, but you know, it was all right. Yeah.
That was a dead shot, that one. Good thing Deadshot is the world's deadliest assassin. Or is that second deadliest? Either way, he's determined to survive the riot to end all riots in order to live or die another day. But there's a lot of guards standing between Deadshot and freedom. A lot of other inmates too. Deadshot's solution, kill them all, presenting the riotous prequel to Rocksteady's Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. So this, for me, I'm going to be picking this up because the game looks great. I'm definitely going to be picking that up. You've got a PlayStation 5. You can probably pick that up as well, Pete.
I have, yeah. It's getting really bad reviews, mate. It's not even been, well, it was released and then it was pulled within an hour because of bugs. It's already 33% discounted. So
wow.
It's not looking good. I mean, if it's cheap, I'll pick it up and have a go. You know what I mean?
But do you know what? Like some people said Gotham Knights wasn't all that.
It's dog shit.
But I liked it.
Oh, no, me. Oh, God.
I mean, I know the story. I know the premise of the whole game is exactly the same as like a Spider-Man. You're like first-person mode and you jump around and stuff. But it's just mind-numbing that you can just sit down and just play it. It's not going to win awards and stuff. It's not like Last of Us or anything like that.
I played an hour on it. I loved the start. I loved the Batman kind of fighting Ra's al Ghul and stuff like that. I thought that was tremendous. But then it was just the actual gameplay for me was just like going back in time. I couldn't get my head into it.
But I'm interested to see how they're going to do this to the prequel of the game, because like the Suicide Squad versus Justice League is like age old, so it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of redo this.
I think you also get various codes and things like that you can use as part of the game. So
Yes.
remember we brought out the Fortnite comic, so I think they're doing the same with all the issues there is as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, do you reckon this would be one that you guys would pick up and read?
Absolutely not.
No? I mean,
I'm not a big DC man, to be honest, Charlie. I think, I don't know, I do like some of the characters there. I like Captain Boomerang, I like King Shark and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's not a one I would rush to get, to be honest.
Really?
It's your radioactive right line.
I've often been told I've got a radioactive ring, yeah.
And do you know what it might be? It's because we've been frocking together.
That's right.
Must be it. There we go. Dead Man has just said number 3 of Beneath the Trees is late again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's next week, I think, now.
They were doing so well. And James has said, roughly about 800 on advanced each month, roughly 200-ish for FOC then. That's a lot. That's our next show. We're going to do the advanced each month.
All 800.
All 800. We're going to go through that. Good evening, Vic. Welcome. From your prison cell. How you doing? So I'm very much looking forward to this. And as much as Andy's converted me over to indie comics, I still do like my DC. I still do like my comic book superheroes.
I think the word you used there, Charlie, is you've got a penchant. I think you need to use that word again.
I've got a penchant for Harley Quinn. Yes, that's it. So that's my 2 done. Up next. this is my pick. Must be. Hey, look at this. Know this.
Yeah, this is my pick. So I picked this for a couple of reasons, because the actual the what if for Alien sounds good. The story, we'll go through the synopsis in a second. But more importantly, there's a beautiful lush Scotty Young cover that took my fancy. And it was just dropped on the Slab Crusaders Facebook group page, that if you buy 2 issues, it doesn't have to be Scotty Young, it can be any of the covers for Aliens, then you'll get them for like something like James will keep me right, it's like $265, $275 each per comic.
Very good.
So that's a superb deal. But I've actually put my order through for the Scott Young cover. I think it's great. I'd love if it didn't have the sort of trade dress on the left hand side. I think that kind of ruins it a little bit. But yeah, this is Aliens What If #1, and the what if Carter Burke had lived. For years, fans of James Cameron's legendary Aliens questions whether Carter Burke, a company man more hateable than the Xenos themselves, or the Xenos themselves, have actually survived the traumatic events on the terraforming colony Hadley's Hope. Now the actor behind the beloved villain, Paul Reiser, joins his son, Leon, and the star-studded team of writers and producers Adam F. Goldberg, Brian Volkweiss, and Hans Rodinoff for a journey back to Hadley's Hope and the twisted escape of a man who should have died. I think the synopsis caught me first and foremost until I realised there was even a Scotty Young. There was icing on the cake. So I've got my order through, and I would definitely recommend you guys go and check this one out. What do you think, guys?
The only thing with this is I honestly think Marvel they don't know how to do cover borders. Like, you don't need that. You literally could have just put the 20th Century Fox down at the bottom. For me, I will get this because it's Scotty Young, but it's ruined the cover for me.
Yeah.
It just don't need it.
It's such a shame that it's not a wraparound cover as well with it, that body. You can just imagine it continuing in the back, and you open it up and it being a massive big chase.
Yeah. But it's just
missed opportunity.
Oh, it's gonna be great, because obviously the What If the cartoon show is awesome. But it's just when I see this and it dropped on the phone, I was just like, fuck, why have you done that? Like, they did it with the Killing Black, and they just killed it. Every single cover had the Killing Black King. God, it was just rubbish.
So Fuzzy just mentioned there, this is the 3rd 20th Century Fox cover that Scott Young's done. And I agree with him. I think the borders actually ruin every single one of them. But it'll be interesting to see if he has some sort of
He'll probably have some
variant of this on his website, because I think that's kind of the go-to at the moment. So, but yeah, I'll be picking this up, absolutely. What about yourself, Peter?
Yeah, I love this. So, I mean, I'm doing shooters. I'm not a massive Scotty Young fan. So this for me would be a buy for the comic itself, the read itself, not the actual cover. I think this sounds phenomenal. I hadn't appreciated that it was the actor who's kind of part right in this. I think that's really cool. This has got me excited because Aliens is one of my favourite movies of all time. I think it's absolutely stunning. So just continue. I love What If anyway. Continuing on that story. That said, just talking about the cover again. I think that would look, as you've said, absolutely phenomenal without all the shit on it, all the borders and stuff, without the what if and the aliens. It's because I think the white just makes it stand out more.
Yeah, pops,
But I'm wondering if we'll get a couple of versions of this, like you did with the Prime one, where you maybe change that white to a black space background or something like that. Or I just think it looks great. It looks really nice.
And as James has said, and yes, 25% off using discount SC Alien, so works out at £2.63 a cover when 2 or more added to the basket. That's ridiculous. Like,
How
honestly,
does James make money? Just out of interest, because I mean,
James makes money.
But he gives stuff away. The prices are just mental. It's
his OnlyFans is killing
is
it.
Right, okay.
Absolutely, it's
From what we hear,
the SC stands for something else over on his OnlyFans, but that's where he's making his money. But yeah, I think this
is that the Rigid Crusader. Is that Rigid Crusader?
Yes. But we'll go with that one. We'll go, James. If you want to just fill everyone in the chat, go for it.
No, please don't.
No, don't fill anyone in. No. With your Rigid Crusader, he's also done his cover about 4 times, just with different characters. Yeah. But Chris Bell has bought every single one of them, and so's Andy.
So is Fuzzy probably. Fuzzy's on to, is it 200 copies, 198 or something he's got now?
So I'm
really interested what the 200th copy is going to be, what the 200th one he's got. And I know that James is a big Aliens fan as well, so or a big Scott Young fan, so I think he buys at least 2 or 3 copies of every book that comes out. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This will be good. So that's that, and then we've got Peter.
Yes.
You absolutely.
It was actually me. It was actually me that picked this one, but I picked it for all of us. I picked it for all of us guys because you guys introduced me to the devil that wears.
So you didn't. Face. So this is really. So I think me and Peter were speaking. We was reading another Alex Cormack comic. I think, Pete, and you was like, you need to jump on the devil that wears my face. And I was like, oh, okay. And I read it on a Sunday evening, right, at about 11 o'clock. And I was like, whoa, this is good.
Yeah.
And the ending for issue 1 was like, I need issue 2 straight away. So then I think we suggested it to you, Andy, and you was like, I haven't read any. And now you're into it. And it's just the power of communication for comics. Like for me, stuff like this, when you can jump on at issue 5 and think, or issue 4 and think, oh, I'm going to read this. Are you enjoying it?
And the thing, oh, listen, I always say that I give at least every comic 1 issue just to sort of get me interested and get me to go to that second issue. This was, as soon as I finished issue number 1, I was literally going through every single issue. I've read up to what are we on? Issue number 4 has come out, hasn't it? Or is that?
Yeah,
is 4 out yet? I'm not sure if 4's out yet.
It's out.
Whatever we're up, is it this week? Yeah. So whatever we're up to, I've read up to, and it's just one of those ones where I can't wait. I need more, and I think Alex Cormack's art. I'm going to put it out there. He's maybe the best horror artist in comics at the moment. I think some of the work that he's done in this book is absolutely superb. David Papose, he was obviously done Scout's Honor, which we'd read previously, and it wasn't.
I feel I'm going to have to read that again, because
I feel as if I'm with you. I kind of feel as if I must have missed something. Was that one of the sort of weeks where we had read a lot of nonsense? And that was
I don't remember much about it. I remember it being horrendous, and the review show was just like, "What the hell are we reading this?" But I want to read it again because he's done this and it's amazing.
Do you remember though, Charlie, that whenever we did read Scout's Honor, not to harp back to it, but it was like 2 or 3 weeks in a row where every comic we'd read we didn't really enjoy. And I don't know if it was just that period of time for comics or whether just we were in bad form, but I think it's definitely something I would go and pick up again. But I would strongly recommend, guys, that if you haven't read any of this, go and pick up issue 1, 2, and 3. This is issue number 5 that's on FOC, and as I say, I think it's probably on the list for my top comics this year thus far.
Now, Pete, was you saying that you didn't know much about Mad Cave Studios?
Yeah, I'm not that familiar. I might have read the books and just not put 2 and 2 together, but I'm not that familiar with Mad Cave Comics, I don't think.
Like, they do some awesome, like when we're talking about indie comics, these are kind of at the forefront of it. Like years and years ago, when we still do it on the show on Thursdays, don't we? We class Image Comics as indie comics, where let's be honest, like the big 3 players at the moment are Image, DC, and Marvel. Like the proper indie comics like AWA, You've got Mad Cave Comics, you've got like Scout Comics and stuff like that. They're the proper indie ones, but they're all doing wicked stuff. It's hard to kind of differentiate between an indie comic and like the main players now. But for me, 100%, I'm so involved in the indie publishing scene because they're putting out so much stuff that isn't going to be published by DC or Marvel or stuff like that, and it's so much more enjoyable. Like for me, Marvel and DC must be looking at their competition and thinking, yeah, we know we've always got our constant Spider-Man, X-Men, Avengers fans and stuff, but what if they was to do something like this? It does make you think if the creative team are like, should we just try and push the boundaries and see what happens? They're not going to lose anything. I mean, they're a multi-billion-pound industry. They was just to turn around and say, right, let's give it a go.
I mean, they do. I kind of think every now and then they push the boat a little bit. I mean, Avengers Twilight at the moment, I don't know if you guys have read issue 1 of that.
Yeah.
No.
That feels different. That feels a bit Batman Dark Knight kind of thing going on, Kingdom Come. So I'm hoping that that's a bit more kind of risky, as it were. This book for me is absolutely phenomenal, and I just wanted to give a bit of a nod to Alex Cormack, who obviously does our art show with one now and then. And Andy, you mentioned his artwork here. Charlie, you've been on the show. The images he knocks out in 5 minutes are absolutely breathtaking. So I just wanted to give him a nod. He does superb commissioned work for ridiculously cheap. So if anybody does want a commissioned piece off him, drop him a message on Instagram. He's done me, crikey, 7 or 8 maybe now. I think all under £100 a piece. So it's well worth checking out. He does some.
Well, even at Thought Bubble, the one that he did for you was like £50, wasn't it? And it was awesome. And it was wicked. Has he, some of the ones that he's done on the show, have you offered to buy? Is he willing to sell them?
I'm always a little bit nervous to say that because I'm interested what he does with them, because to me, the ones he does, well, all of them, are good enough to sell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what he does or if he bins them, I'd break my heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
just going to say, as you mentioned Avengers Twilight, it surprised me as well. I really, really enjoyed issue number 1. I haven't read issue number 2 yet, but I mean, they if they was to do more stuff like that, I think I'd be more inclined to keep reading it.
Recent Punisher one was
Punisher
was risky, I mean.
Yeah.
That was good.
Sorry, Andy, mate, go on.
No, apologies, but I was just going to say an idea came into my head there just as you were talking about some of the stuff getting binned and stuff like that. You should definitely consider, trying to collate all the pictures that are done and get it published. Publish a book at the end of your series. And
keep mine out of it. Keep mine in the film.
Put it to charity.
Yeah.
I reckon that would be a good idea. Like, any of the money can go to mental health charities, because effectively that's what that show that you do is, a bit of a release. It's for people to go and have a chat and just sit and draw and have some fun. But the other thing I was going to say was Alex Cormack's sort of mind must be so creative to come up with these images for some of this stuff that I'd wonder if he's ever thought about writing a comic, because surely that would transfer into some of the thought and the imagination process that he has into actually just writing a book. Don't know. Maybe something to ask him.
It would be interesting to find out how. I mean, because on your show, Pete, he literally does that in 3 or 4 minutes. So he must go crazy with a pencil when he's got a whole comic to do. Like, he must just get, like, I think Ram V's mentioned to us quite a few times that he kind of just finds solace where he just sits there and he kind of goes into like his mind palace type of way, and he kind of just pulls things. And he said, like, he'll just sit at a coffee shop and he'll just write loads of stuff down. Alex Cormack must just sit there and just draw, and it's bound to work. And it'd be interesting if we was to ask him, like, how many retakes did he do for like pages, like certain pages in this? Because some of them he might just turn around and say, that was it, I did it. But artists go over and over and over it. I think where he's one of my favourite artists. I think
definitely
because
one of my favourites.
And it would have been so good with John Leesy's comic. What was the comic that he did?
He's done Sync. He's done a lot with John, but he just
but the one that it's about the comic book shop that we was like this really.
Yeah. So Alex didn't. Yeah. So that was the Nasty.
Yeah, I would love to have seen, and we mentioned this. I would love to have seen Alex Cormack do that, because even though it's not the greatest story, I think the art would have elevated it 100%.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you kind of almost associate an artist with a writer in terms of a great pairing, because Alex and Alex and John work so much with each other that I just assume that they're going to continue for every book they do.
Yeah.
And then when John put the nasty out, no disrespect to John because I think he's great.
Yeah.
But it just didn't fit for us, and I don't know if it's because I was expecting to see John's style of artwork or what, But I think you're right, Charlie. It would be lovely to see his rendition of the main character in that book,
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, because I think it would have been great, and I think it would have tied into the story a lot more. But do you know what? Not everything's for everyone, and maybe Alex looked it out and was like, "No, no, thanks. Sorry, John." Right. So up next we got Andy. This is you.
No, this is Tom's pick.
Oh, this is so confusing. We need to put the logos on there. So Tom's gone for Assassin's Creed, Shinobi Uncivil War. Tom again is a massive computer nerd, and this is obviously Assassin's Creed Visionaries. In our first tale, Shinobi writer Brain Dornbach and artist Ryan Benjamin bring us to the Shogun age of Fendwal, Japan. The target is a rival clan member.
What was that? Sorry.
Feudal. Feudal Japan. The target is a rival clan member, and the kill has to be perfect. Failure means certain death. Yes, I'm talking to you two. Failure means certain death. Carry on, right? Carry on. Certain death and instant dishonor, right? You both hear that, yeah? Instant dishonor. Yeah, there we go. A true shinobi must protect his clan. I'll protect you, don't worry. Even at the cost of his own life. Pride and honor. If his actions reveal his clan's involvement, Hamoto's life will be forfeited to keep the peace. There we go. What are we thinking about this? Would you read this?
No.
Really?
All right,
Bruce.
No, I'm just...
Good game.
No, good game. Don't prepare. I don't know why. I've not really played the Assassin's Creed games, so it doesn't necessarily jump out at me, this one, I'm afraid. Nice cover, mind. I like the art style.
Same for me. It wouldn't be one it would like strike me as one to go and read, but again, if I had an excuse to read it through the show or whatever, I'd give it a go. I know that Tom's really into, he was like Mortal Kombat champion of Europe at some point. So I know he likes all these sort of things.
Yeah, for the under nines. This is we're talking about 30 years ago.
That's terrible. No. But yeah, and this, interestingly enough, this is published through Massive, which are obviously Whatnot. So it's another Whatnot book as well.
So can you talk? So have Whatnot changed their publishing name? So they're still doing Whatnot publishing, but they've now got on Massive.
Yeah. So so they've changed from Whatnot Publishing to Massive. That's effectively the name, same people, same company.
Right. Okay.
My understanding is, I think they just wanted to differentiate themselves from the Whatnot, app and everything that comes with that. So yeah, that's who they are. If you ever see them.
Yeah, I think I've read one Assassin's Creed comic, and it tried to be too much like the computer game. Obviously, there's been numerous Assassin's Creed games over the years. There's been Black Flag and whatever else. I don't know if this is going to try and tie into a story. I'm not.
Did I watch a movie, Assassin's Creed? Was there an Assassin's Creed movie which was quite confusing?
Yeah.
So I feel as if I would need to know some sort of backstory about Assassin's Creed and the characters and stuff like that, because I'm not entirely sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm not entirely sure that this book would give me the backstory that I would need in order to understand it and enjoy it. So,
but maybe you might be okay to jump on this, because I think this is, as it says in our first tale, Shinobi. So I think this is the answer. Yeah, I'm not really too sure, but I don't know. Michael Fassbender. Yeah, that was the one. Michael Fassbender. Yes,
that's the
the film wasn't great, to be honest. So yeah, massive have put this out. So yeah, Tom, hopefully you can kind of tell us more about it when we see you next. And then whose is this one?
Moi. This is me. So this had the potential to be dog shit. This is the Sentry issue 4 from Marvel Comics. Do you know much about the Sentry as a character? He's the
a little bit.
the Marvel kind of Superman. He's got the power of 1,000 or 1,000,000,000 exploding suns or something. Really convoluted.
Which have hit your face.
Which have hit my face. That's what's happening with me. He's in front of us. So he's got a very convoluted backstory. There's a lot of mental health tied into it. There's a thing with the Void where he's got split personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, it all got far too weighty for me and far too convoluted, and I just kind of had no interest in the character. He's been torn in half 3 or 4 times now, I think, by various characters, and he died a while ago.
Yeah.
Issue 1 came out a couple of months back, and I've mentioned this before, but it was Fuzzy put out something on Instagram, said it was all right, so I thought, I'll give it a go, and it was really good. It was really interesting. So the Sentry is still dead, the original character, but his power has been split between, I think it was 4 or 5 different people. And each of them have inherited a different kind of aspect of his power. And, well, we're 4 issues in now, so I can spoil it because the cover's a bit of a spoiler. And at the end of the first issue, basically one of them goes a bit crazy and starts bumping the rest of them off. Because when one dies, the other... It's a bit like, remember that TV show Heroes?
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The Skylar character or whatever it was called, yeah? Basically, that storyline. So when he kills another version of the Sentry, he gets their powers and abilities, I think. Which was an interesting take. So, to be fair, I've only read the first 2 issues, I think it is, and they've been enjoyable. So I've popped this on the list to keep going with it. And I actually quite like the cover. I think the cover's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, the cover's cool. I thought it was Alex Ross at the first, whenever I seen it.
Yeah, it does look a bit like Ross, doesn't it? It's pretty good. Yeah.
Do you know what is that? This seems to be a strange way. It's a homage to, the Death of Superman. It kind of looks like that cover.
Yeah.
If you see the Death of Superman, where it's kind of like that, and in place of the Sentry, it's the Superman flag.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. I mean, you've kind of sold it to me. I think I would give it a read. But Andy, we did the King in Black saga, and
that's what came into my mind when he ripped them apart and stuff like that. Yeah.
Noel ripped him apart, didn't he? Or was it the other way around?
Noel ripped him apart.
Noel ripped him apart, didn't it? And which was a homage to him ripping out. Yeah. I don't know about this. I mean, I don't know if I know enough about the Sentry to not want to read it, or I know little about him that I do want to read it. I think there's not much for me, to be honest, as you'll know by now. There's not much keeping me involved with Marvel at the moment, other than Punisher and Avengers Twilight. There's nothing really being put out there.
Yeah.
So maybe this is kind of my entry to get back in. But I mean, the cover's awesome. The cover by Ben Harvey is awesome.
It's keeping us interested, which is good.
Is the Sentry not meant to be in like a TV show or a movie coming up soon?
So he was supposed to be the main villain stroke hero in the Thunderbolts movie, and he was going to be played, I forget the chap's name, the guy who was in Walking Dead.
Played Glenn in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But and famously it was spoiled by Robert Kirkman recently, so that's never been announced. But Robert Kirkman was being interviewed, and he let slip that the actor had rang him and said he was out for a costume.
Stephen Yeun.
Yeah, Stephen Yeun. Yeah.
Stephen Yeun.
But now he's dropped out apparently, so they are Sentinels.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'll
script.
Maybe
the script. He's like,
would you read this, Andy?
Based on what Peter has said there, it sounds intriguing for me to do it. I think it would be one of those ones where, how many issues? Do you know how many issues?
I don't know, Peter? I don't know.
It might be one of those ones again. I just leave to the end, but I wouldn't be in a rush to read it.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anybody speaking about it. There's not been a bit buzz about it, so I don't know.
I don't think he's a particularly beloved character, to be honest. I think they've probably put this out thinking
this is the last issue.
Out,
Issue number 4 is the last one.
Right. Okay. I might dive into it then. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Peter. I think what I'm looking for from Marvel is a character that I can get invested in and relate to. There's lots of characters that I like, but that's solely based on what I've seen in the movies, not what I've read in the comics. So
current Daredevil run's not bad, mind. That's worth a read. That's a bit of a restart. I think
that is
5 now or something.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying that. But yeah, so that is the top picks. Over next, we've got the cover picks. There we go. So talking about cover picks, there's a few of these out, right? There's a few of these out. I do like Mark Brooks, and I didn't realise how much I actually liked Mark Brooks until I was flicking through like some of my comic boxes and realised I've got quite a few of them. I think there's this one. You've got one for Wolverine. You've got one for Captain America. You've got one for Rogue. they would look awesome. Like I've got the Alex Ross Killer Comics convention thing that we got from Slab Crusaders up there, and it looks great lined up. I think those would look really, really good all together as just like the headshots.
So much better than the Todd Knock headshot variants, because I think Mark Brooks is a superb artist.
100%,
and he's also done. So not only has he done these, but he's done like up the top left hand corner. Back in the day, they had like the group of faces on the where the Marvel icon is there up in the top left hand side. He's done a whole sort of bunch of those as well. And when I was looking through FOC, I seen that there was more than one of these, and I went, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, because you just know, like you, Charlie, as soon as you buy one, you're going to have to get every single one that comes out.
Yeah. And I just think they look awesome. Like there's one for like Daredevil as well that's come out. So I think these would just be pure cover buys. Because they're like issue 6, issue 4, they're not issue 1s, but I just think they'd look great. And even if you stuck them in like a Mylar, they'd look great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think they'd really look nice. So so that's one I've gone. Sensational She-Hulk issue number 6, the Mark Brooks headshot variant. Oh, love this.
I probably took this one right from your grasp there, Charlie. I went for it as Ambition.
You did.
This is a 1 in 25 for Power Girl issue number 6. Now I don't necessarily think that this will be available on the website. I don't know how many Power Girl issue number 6s will sell through Slab Crusaders. But I thought this was a fantastic cover. I love Dan Panosian's work. I think the way that he draws females is probably akin to like sort of like he's got a little bit of J. Scott Campbell, a little bit of Finch. There's obviously like it's like almost as if he's amalgamated into 3 or 4 different artists to produce what he does. But even on the stars of or the background, it kind of feels textured. And I can just imagine this being obviously it's a cardstock variant as well. I just think this would be a fantastic cover to pick up, so that's the reason why I went for this one.
The Negative Space one, there's a Negative Space one that I nearly picked for cover of the week, but it was literally just teeth and tits. That's all it was. It was literally a negative space of tits and teeth. That was it. So I don't know.
That needs to be a new segment for our Thursday show.
Tits and teeth.
This is a stunning cover, and surprisingly for me, I'm being drawn to one area, and it's not the area you might expect. It's her
arms.
It's their arms. The definition on her arms is friggin' amazing. The look. Real. Do you know what I mean? It's a really, really striking cover. I really like it.
Like have you read Alice Ever After?
I've read most. I don't think I've read the last issue. Yeah.
So obviously Dan's working that with Giorgio is awesome, because they kind of like within the first issue anyway, it was like Dan would do Wonderland, and then Giorgio would do the normal work, and then they kind of mixed it up, and then it kind of got like a amalgamation of all their works together, and they was doing mixing up and everything. Whereas this, like, he's awesome, and like he's a good friend. I talk to him like on a regular and stuff, and I do think his work is friends. We are, and I think his work is a cross between. If you look at the likes of, you'll notice that I've got kind of favourite artists. I've got like John Boy Mayers, I've got like Dan Panosian, I've got like J. Scott Campbell. They're all similar at what they do, but they do the similar stuff in different ways. So I just think, but her arms on this, I would not want to get in. She reminds me of a gladiator.
Yeah.
Have you been watching that again?
I have, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I like Saber. Anyway, I digress.
I like Saber.
Moving on. There we go. Tom's gone for Weapon X-Men. Issue number 1, John Boy Mayer's variant cover. This was the Killer Covers show choice for the Slab Crusaders box. I quite like this. I'm not sure what the story's going to be about. I'll probably pick it up and read it. I like Wolverine and stuff, but it's a great cover though.
To be fair, this is really interesting as a book. I go hot and cold on X-Men books, I think, as most people do, because sometimes they're good, sometimes they're absolutely horrendous. But this is a new series which is collecting a whole host of different variants of Wolverine. So you've got Old Man Logan in there. You've got this guy who's from the Age of Apocalypse. I can't remember the others, but there's a whole collection of them, and it sounds quite interesting. This is a pretty cool cover. This is going back to my heyday of reading comics. Age of Apocalypse was a firm favourite of mine, so I'm keen to see this again.
Yeah. Andy, would you be picking this up, do you reckon?
I'm pretty pissed off with this cover because I can't understand why Marvel have slapped that trade dress right in the middle of the book. Can you imagine John Boy handing this in and then seeing the final thing?
Yeah.
Like they've even had the audacity to make the Marvel logo like small. Why couldn't you just put Weapon X-Men on the bottom left-hand side, just in small text? Like that would have sold a lot more covers as far as I was concerned. So, but yeah, John Boyd does fantastic work. This is a great cover, but why slap that trade dress right in the middle? It doesn't make sense.
That's a really good point. I've never really thought about that. The artist's kind of producing this stunning artwork, and then seeing it with all the shite thrown all over the cover, the trade dresses, the 20th century logo or whatever it may be. It must be pretty galling for them, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're taking up 25% of what you've drawn with a with a computer generated logo, then you're going to be a bit annoyed.
I'm trying to find the original drawing that he did, and it looks so much better. And I think when he was on the show last time, he said obviously working with Marvel and DC and stuff, you kind of regimented in what you expect them to do. So you kind of know that they're going to just plaster logos all over it, or they're going to put like 20th Century Fox in the corner and stuff like that. But his original one of this without it in there is awesome. And you just kind of think like the Marvel editors must look at that and go, "Nah, let's just put it straight there." I mean,
well, I tell you, why don't they just move it to the side and put it on the left hand side, vertically? Because I think it might have been John Boy that done the first Turtles cover that had the logo
down the side.
Yeah. So why couldn't they have done the same with us?
Yeah. It is annoying, but Weapon X issue #1, John Boy Mayer's variant cover there. Oh look. He looks, Pete, that is you today.
But the question is, whose skull is that he's about to stomp on?
There's a list. This is just, again, this is a pure like nostalgia buy. This is my childhood. This is Garbage Pail Kids. Were you guys too young to be part of the Garbage Pail kind of craze when the cards came out and everything?
When did it come out?
Oh, it was when I was in junior school, so it'll have been kind of 80s, late 80s.
No, Peter, it was nothing to do with age. We just had friends.
See, I was born in 1995. I was born in 95, so...
You weren't born in 95, you liar.
I was born in 95.
Bullshit.
I'm 28 years old.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I thought you were like late 40s.
I'm already joking. I was born in 85.
But this is Garbage Pail Kids. And I tell you why this one jumped out. When we were flicking through looking for decent covers, there was I think it was a Conan cover. And I thought, wow, that looks amazing. And then this one was like 2 images below it, and it just made us laugh straight away. And I thought, that's class.
You do that face? You did a face that the Cardinals making? Here we go.
That screenshot.
There's a clip.
I loved the Garbage Pail Kids. I had the cards. We used to trade them at school and stuff. But yeah, I just love it. It looks cool.
This is a metal cover as well.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, I didn't realise that.
So this one you went for is actually, so you can get it with a trade dress and stuff like that, but this is specifically a metal one.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought they never made it to this side of the pond. Right, so that's another hole James has gone down now. I'll be getting messages at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning saying, "Look what I've just bought."
Yeah, honestly, James, they are amazing cartoons, but I'm sure they came with. Remember back in the day when you got sets of cards, and that's what I was just about to say. That horrendous dried out bit of pink chewing gum that was like cardboard to chew on. It was horrendous stuff.
The smell from it as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
And it was in that recycled paper that was like folded, and you had to that stuff. Yeah,
I'd love a series 1 of Garbage Pail Kids, but they're very, very expensive. If you look for them on eBay, hundreds you're paying for the set.
Wow. But yeah, I love this cover. Pete, if you do not come dressed as that at Thought Bubble this year,
can you imagine? That would be class.
For the first round of shots in Thought Bubble, I want you to come. I want my shot served with you dressed as that. If it's anything other...
I'm walking hand in hand into Wetherspoons with Dr. Von Hoot.
Oh my God, could you imagine that? Like, Von Hoot, if you catch up on the rewind, this is what Pete's going to be wearing next time we see you in Thought Bubble. There we go. A pal.
You will as well, that's the thing. That's what I'm worried about. Peter will.
Yeah, I will.
You could be a garbage pal Mal. There we go. Pal Mal.
Oh, Mal.
Yeah. Well done.
There we go. That is absolute dynamite. So yeah, these are the cover picks this week. Moving over to the top #1s for FOC this week. Now, Batman First Night. Ooh. Now I've gone with this. It's another Batman comic. There's what was the one that we was reading on the show? It was
Gargoyle of Gotham.
Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. The thing that struck me with this is that it seems to be the similar cowl and imagery and stuff like that. It seems like the modern day, like the first Batman, as it were. But this is obviously this is written by Dan Jurgens, art by Mike Perkins, and the cover art is by Raymond Pires. This isn't Marvel. This is DC.
Yeah.
I was doing so well as well. As your editor, Charlie, you had one job to check this.
So I can't tell you what this is about. So Andy, are you able to pull it up and just and read it for me, please?
Is it not on the next slide, Charlie? Has he not just swooped them up?
I can tell you what it is like.
No.
It's about Batman.
Yes.
I can tell you what it's about. Because I think I talked about this on a show a little while ago. I've said that. I've started speaking, then I've realised I haven't got a fucking clue. No, it's set in continuity. It's his first kind of mission when he was the Batman. So do you remember back in the day when he was fighting? Was it there was like a monk character who I think he shoots or something? It's linked to that in some way, but it's an in-continuity story of his first few years as the Batman, going back to those original comics, not your kind of your Batman Year One stuff, but in that kind of timeline continuity.
Right. So, witness the earliest days of Batman Dark Knight, legendary writer Jan Jurgens, blah, 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 blah. The year is 1939. The world, still reeling from the horrors of the First World War, is on the brink of tipping into an even more gruesome conflict as fascism is on the march and gathering strength in America's darkest corners. Against the backdrop, a series of violent murders have begun in Gotham, and the recent emergence of the mysterious vigilante known as the Batman has come to power and will break the city living of fear and institutional collapse. All the evidence in murder investigation defies logic.
Otherwise known, as I said, it's about Batman.
Yes.
Told you.
and again, it's telling the first story of Batman, but this is DC Black Label. I like DC Black Label because they kind of push the boundaries a little bit. So, yeah, I will be picking this up. And I'm loving that Batman logo in the top.
Yeah. I'm
That's awesome.
Actually. It's the odd size as well. It's that odd comic.
Yeah. But yes, you had one job, but you've done you finished off the other 30, so I'll let you leave early for that one. It's fine. So yeah, that's the one I'm going for. That's Marvel's Batman, first night. There we go.
I'm just really worried now that I forgot about the other ones.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
My anxiety is killing me right now. So yes, I went for Dawn Runner issue number 1. This is by Dark Horse Comics, and it's by Ram V. I had no idea that this was even a thing or that it was coming out. So the art and cover art is by Evan Cagle, and the synopsis reads: a century ago, a portal opened up over Central America, and the Tetsa that Tetsa?
Go with it.
Is that a word? Anyway, I'm committing. Tetsa that came through changed our world. Now the world bends all its effort to making the Iron King's great mechs that must battle the Tetsa for humanity's continued survival in gladiatorial combat. Anita Marr is the greatest of the pilots and is chosen to pilot a new prototype that could change the tide in humanity's favour. An all-ages sci-fi epic from rising stars Ram V and Evan Cagle. Rising star Ram V?
Yeah,
I would say Ram V's a rising star.
How rude, Dark Horse. Come on. Know your audience.
Yeah,
I think this sounds mint. This is right up my tree. Gives us Pacific Rim vibes, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think this will be really, really cool.
I like the cover though. I
do like the cover doesn't do much for me. When you read the synopsis, it
doesn't sell it.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting in terms of giant mechs and things like that. Unless it's just my old eyes. That doesn't really shout mechs.
It feels like a panel. It feels like a panel from the book.
Yeah. If I saw it in the comic shop, I wouldn't necessarily jump to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is interesting, right? I struggle with Ram V 75% of the time. I can't remember where I was or what I was watching on YouTube the other day, but someone else said that. They said they it's like, what did they say? It's not Jeff Lemire, but the way that he writes, they can't fully understand it. I used to be like that, and then I read The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, and even though that was quite a confusing story, it was enjoyable. But then I read his Aquaman Andromeda, and I enjoyed it, and I was like, okay, you know the kind of angle that you're trying to write with this. I can understand where you're coming from though, because he's a very intellectual writer.
I'm the same as Fuzzy. I have to say, I struggle to his work. My favourite thing he's read, and I might get the title wrong actually, is it These Savage Shores?
Yes.
Oh yes.
I really enjoyed that one. Really enjoyed that.
I will forever forgive Ram V for anything that doesn't hit the mark either before or after the Many Deaths of Layla Starr. As Charlie said, it was the greatest. I think I picked it as my best book of whatever the year that it came out. But the likes of the Savage Shores and the stuff that he's done in early doors, we done a profile on Ram.
Yeah, we did.
And then when he was on the show and stuff like that, definitely check out his older stuff. I think
he's one of the many people that's been on the show twice.
Ah, okay.
He has been on the show twice, yeah.
Many appearances of Ram V. There we go.
Many appearances of Ram V. You know, Radio Apocalypse, that your delicate fingers managed to get me a 9.8 in.
Has it finished?
I don't even know what issue it's up to. It kind of just started, then 3 months later it picked up, and then it kind of just died. But I really enjoyed that, because the thing about that, it was that there was a song throughout it, and Ram said, like, if you listen to the song while reading the comic, you read the comic like a different time and the way it goes. But I can't see him being as a rising star. Like even James has said, is even Cagle a rising star? Like once you have a cover artist land Detective comic, surely you were considered established. I think that's quite rude from Dark Horse Comics.
I think it's almost like they've used that little piece of blurb on the synopsis from previous comics, and I've just lifted and shifted and not realised who the people are that are actually creating it.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I've read all Rare Flavors issues, but can't bring myself to actually read them yet. There's some good covers of that. I'll enjoy one of every 4 books. I don't know why though. They took a break and never returned. Right? Yeah, that's the thing. They did. That is the exact thing. So yeah, this is Dawn Runners issue number 1. Then we have Ultimate X-Men. I assume this is Tom's pick.
This is Tom's pick. Yeah.
This is Tom's pick. This isn't the top number 1. No, this is that's it. There we go. We'll go back to that one. Whose pick was this? Was this yours?
This was mine. I'd ran out of number 1s, really. By the time you guys have picked them all. This is another number 1 for Miss Marvel. I think she just had a number 1 3 months ago or something like that.
She died on that at the end of that, didn't she? Or was that another?
She got better. She got better.
Oh.
She did die, but then she got better. And then there was a new series which was kind of bringing her into the X-Men fold. This is a relaunch, Miss Marvel Mutant Menace. Miss Marvel has officially come out to the world as a mutant and a member of the X-Men, and she's about to learn just how hard things can get for mutant kind. I've picked this because I'm desperate for a good Kamala Khan story. I really enjoyed the Disney Plus show. I don't know that many people did, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the family dynamic. I enjoyed the Marvels movie. I enjoyed her as part of that movie. So I'm wanting to get more invested in the character. I'm wanting to actually enjoy a book. Whilst she's attached to the X-Men, I have to say I struggle a little bit. But I'll give this a go. I'll give this a couple of issues and see what I think.
I don't really know. I think the only thing that I enjoyed about this is I think David Nakayama did a variant cover for it. Yeah. I enjoyed the Miss Marvel TV show. It was okay. It was enjoyable, but I kind of just switched off where they killed her off, and then she came back to life in a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah,
and I was just like, "This is, come on, guys, this is ridiculous." But
it was literally a month. They killed her off in Spider-Man, and she was reborn later that month. Yeah. In fact, I think it was like the next week there was a panel of her coming back or something ridiculous like that.
Does this character who plays Miss Marvel in the movie not write comics as well?
Yeah. So our first comic was the last series of this, and I think Fuzzy, if he's in the chat, might correct us. I think she writes this one as well. Iman Villain, I can't remember.
Oh, is that the right? Okay, is that the character?
But she certainly wrote the last series and did quite well with it, from what I understand. Because she loves the character. She's someone that's been born and bred comic books all her life.
Yeah, it is her.
And she loves it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Is it?
Yeah. It is her.
I definitely think it's a character that I could like. As you said, the TV show I thought was fantastic. I think it was the creativity and the visual aspect of the TV show that I enjoyed more than the storyline. And I think if they could get someone who could bring that visual aspect into the comic, a little bit like Miles Morales and the way they've done it with that, and the way that David Aja does it with Spider-Gwen, I think if they can bring some of that in and bring those elements in, then you would be more inclined to pick these comics up. But it just feels as if it's a bit samey across the board.
Yeah, and I think Marvel are really kind of hanging the hat on, ooh, everybody loves mutants, everybody loves X-Men. Let's hang that into that kind of group. And I think maybe I'm the outsider, I don't know, but actually X-Men works against it now. Because as soon as I see X-Men involved, I think, oh, God, I can't be chilled with that.
Well, yeah, that's it. Going back to Ram V, Deadman has said, Rare Flavors is really creepy read. The main guy is really strange and not in a good way. Ed Vick says the original Miss Marvel books are great. I think I've read one or two of them, and they was good. Fuzzy Dunlop enjoyed the last Miss Marvel comic. I enjoyed the character and want it to do well. Her being a mutant worries me though. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, there we go. So there's that one. Then over to Keys. So now we're going to go back. Ding, ding. There we go. We're going to go back to this one because this was picked by Tom, I assume, because it was neither one of us. The Ultimate X-Men issue #1. Oh, God, here we go. Yes, new X-Men. Excellent. Okay, right. So I don't know much about this. I kind of literally, my tunnel vision turns on when we talk about X-Men. Ultimate Spider-Man. I read that again last night, and I have to agree with you. That's one of the best Spider-Man stories. It is awesome. It's such a great read, and you can understand why the comic's going for a fair few quid now. But it's wicked. It's a really, really enjoyable read.
Yeah, it's good.
The question: do you feel like Ultimate X-Men might have that same push? And maybe James can tell us with the pre-sales that everybody's hanging on the fact that this might be another Ultimate Spider-Man.
Do you know what the problem is for me? Sorry, Charlie. I enjoyed Ultimate X-Men first time around. I'm all for the Ultimate Universe kind of resetting, and if they do it interesting, I think that's cool. Last few books have been good. But, and people will shoot us, Peach Momoko leaves me cold. I've got no time for her art style, for her storytelling. It does nothing for us. So was there a few pages of this in one of the last books or something, I think? And it did nothing for us at all.
So zero orders across all covers, James, as well. Are we right in saying that? Because that really surprises me, because I thought there'd have been a bit of a push from Ultimate Spider-Man. But I'm with you, Peter, 100%. Peach Momoko's artwork for me can be very hit and miss. I don't enjoy it when she's doing the interior artwork. I think if she's doing like a horror book, or if it's that really sort of stylized Japanese sort of book, then I think that's when she does her best work. But I can't imagine. I don't know. I could be completely wrong here, but I don't. Her last she done an X-Men book, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think I read that. Or something. I think she's been doing.
And I did not enjoy that at all. So I'm not holding up much hope for this. But as we say, this is a key as well. Not only it's a #1, but there's a key. It's the first team appearance of the Ultimate X-Men, which is Armor, May Storm, and others. Yeah. So it could be a reason to pick it up, just in case any of those characters pop. So
is Peach Momoko part of the Stormbreakers, the thing that Marvel have got going? You know, they've got like a little gang of artists and writers that they've kind of got. Yeah, I'm the same as you. Like, I've never ever been blown away by a Peach Momoko cover. The only one that I have picked up, and I think it was on a Hobgoblins auction show. I picked up. She did I think it was Hulk and Daredevil cover. They're the only two covers I've ever picked up of Peach Momoko. Her art just really doesn't interest me at all.
She's got a very interesting style, because she's got some of her cover work is really impressive. I've got Strange Academy #1 with Ilyana Rasputin on the cover, which is really nice, and I like that. But that's very different to this kind of stuff. So I don't know if she just changes it up a bit or what, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not even like, what is it? Hisako Ichike is a teenage girl who just wants to live a normal life, go to school, hang out with her friends, ignore the political strife boiling over. Even that, I'm just not even interested in. Like, I mean, James, within the first hour or 2 hours of Ultimate Spider-Man going live, what was the comparison for that? Because as you said, Andy, there could be a fallout from the Spider-Man, or you'd think, but there's clearly not.
I'm just looking at the second part of that synopsis, where it says that in Japan, urban legends have sprung to life and brought some unusual new powers with them. That kind of intrigues me slightly, because I think that's where Peach Momoko would be able to do her best work, and it's bringing those urban legends from Japanese history. into the X-Men and into these characters. So I definitely will be giving this a read just because I'm intrigued, but I don't hold up much hope for it.
I mean, it's what James said. Fair play to her for working her way into Marvel to the point she got to do her own Star Wars universe. Like that's an accomplishment, and obviously, like not everyone's going to like her art or her writing and stuff like that. But yeah, and also she got a suit in the Spider-Man game too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there we go. Hey Tom, we're busy, just absolutely destroying your pick of the week. Yes. Yeah, we are. But hey ho. So yeah, there we go. Right, back to this one now. There we go.
Yeah. So I don't think we each of us picked one of these. I just went ahead and took them from the Slab Crusaders website. So this is Giant Size Spider-Gwen issue number 1. Melissa Flores does the writing, and Alba Glaze and Brian Hitch do the artwork and cover art. Swinging from the pages of Spider-Gwen Smash, Gwen Stacy has finally found some balance in her home dimension. But when the remnants of the Carnage symbiote resurfaces in Gwen's bandmate Mary Jane, they attract the attention of something sinister. Orlando Octavius, the adopted son of Dr. Octopus, now has his sights set on MJ, and Spider-Gwen will have to save her friend from a gauntlet of new and terrifying villains in this oversized spectacular, also featuring a reprint of Spider-Gwen 13, in which Gwen and Mary Jane's first face-off against Mysterio. So this is the first appearance of Orlando Octavius, the adopted son of Dr. Octopus.
This is a no from me. I've literally got no interest in this whatsoever. I wish I did.
I like the cover.
The cover's
like
good.
the cover.
I don't know, like Orlando Octavius, like come on. Like it just I don't know, it just it don't jump out at me.
I'm just a bit like X-Men. I am so confused and lost off with Spider books now. And I mean, so I'm presuming Spider-Gwen's not in our Marvel universe anymore. She's in her own or whatever. But for me, it's a bit like the Venom books. There's so many Spider people now and Spider variants and stuff like that. It's kind of diminished the main characters.
It has, yeah.
Spider-Gwen should be a cracking character, you know. And but I don't know. She just doesn't feel exciting to me. I'm not probably the target audience. I like her in the Spider-Verse movies and things like that, but it's not a character I would go and read, I don't think.
I think the writing and the comics have made the likes of me, you and Charlie not the target audience just because it isn't targeted towards us, because I mean, I think the one that I mentioned there, the Spider-Gwen Smash, like that was really poor. It was kind of a tweeny type, you know, writing. And it just didn't do it for me. I honestly don't think like this could backfire, but I don't think even this being a key would be enough for me to pick it up, because I think if we go to the next slide, Charlie, I put up the other 2 covers.
Sorry, they're just Orlando Octavius would be a great name for a wrestler, and James just said Vinnie Mac would be all over that name. Yeah, and all over something else as well. So yeah. What would you want me to go on to now, Andy?
The next slide has the other 2 covers.
Oh.
So we've got the David Bardin Deadly Foes variant, which I think is quite cool. And then we have the Kei-Zama variant.
I like the cover on the right. I like that.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Yeah. Why that's not the main cover, I'm not too sure. But yeah, these are the 2 covers available, and I think there's like ones in 25s and ones in 50s.
But again, why have they stuck the giant size 50th right there? Put it in the bottom corner or the top corner.
Put it in the back. Put it in the back cover.
But it's not on the other one.
What you got in her hand? Is it a Spider-Man doll or something?
It's a He-Man's sword.
It's not. Is it?
No.
It's a lightsaber.
It's a lightsaber. There we go. Look, Vinnie Mac. Yeah, the Kei-Zama looks good from far away. Zoom in, I'm not so sure. Oh, okay. Fair enough. So it looks good from afar, but far from good. There we go. There we go. But yeah, these ones. And then we've got Flash.
Yeah, this was the other key book. So this is Flash number 6, written by Cy Spurrier, great writer. And after the shocking ending of last issue, Wally Westworld has been completely upended, and he is quite literally is putting the pieces together. The Stillnesses attempts to reach out to higher power are answered. Lace up your boots as the first arc of the critically acclaimed new era for the Scarlet Speedster concludes. And this is a possible first appearance of the Inspector Pilgrim Now, this got me when I read this. He's a shadowy bubblegum chewing ally. Do you have many bubblegum chewing allies in your friend list, Peter, Charlie?
Loads.
Yeah.
All of them. In fact, they chew too much gum for me. It gets on my tits.
They're called the Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah. Have any of you guys been reading this?
Nope.
Do you know what? I don't know. Flash is another character that I've never really invested time in or to read. I'm kind of like, do I? Don't I? It's the same with him and the Green Lantern as well.
Yeah. Just
Flash.
Just boring.
Flash is my favourite DC character, particularly this version of Flash, Wally West.
Really?
Yeah. I love the Mark Waid run on Flash, the Jeff Jones original run, just absolutely stunning. When they brought Barry back, it got right in my nuts, but never mind. I recently read the previous 4 issues or 5 issues of this. It's hard work. Do you know what we were talking before about Ramvi's writing and whatnot? I got to the end of this and I felt like I was thick as pig shit. I was thinking, I haven't got a clue what the hell is going on or what's happening. The artwork doesn't fit the character for me at all. I was really, really disappointed because I wanted to love this. I'm sure it's great for some. I'm sure it's hitting the box for some people. But for me, I think I was hoping for a return to Jeff Jones's run or Mark Waid's run. And this is a very sci-fi intelligent book with high-end concept. A bit like Grant Morrison kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Trying to conceptualize 8 different realities that he's working through and stuff. And
Cy Spurrier does a lot of Star Wars, doesn't he? So that might explain where that sort of comes from. But this is a good homage to World War Z, is it? Yeah, cool. If you go to the next slide, Charlie, there's another couple or 3 there. So we've got the cover B, the Mike Diodato Jr. cover, cover C by James Stucco, and cover D by Matt Taylor. I think the Matt Taylor one is quite funky.
That cover on the left-hand side. What was the comic that we read with about the monkeys? And it wasn't like Planet of the Apes or something. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Primate?
Primal.
Primal or something?
Primal, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of that.
What happened to that? Because I remember getting the first issue of that because it was meant to be a big book, and then I don't remember seeing any more of it.
Primordial, wasn't it? Is that what it was saying?
Primordial, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sold on any of these.
No, me neither.
No, right. Facsimile focus. There we go. So, Andy.
Facsimile focus.
There we go.
No? Okay. So there was only one, as far as I could see, facsimile out for this FOC, and it was from Marvel, and it was for Wolverine issue number 1. Obviously by the fantastic Chris Claremont and Sal Buscema doing art and cover art. So there's 2 versions of this. There's a normal version and then there's a foil version if you like your foils. I'm not going to read the synopsis. If you haven't read Wolverine issue number 1, then what have you been doing with your life? This reprints the issue number 1 from 1988. So 2 versions, normal version and then a nice shiny foil version.
I've become very obsessed with foil versions and I don't know why. I'm just sat here looking, I've got like 10 of them stacked up. I don't know why.
They really do pop. When I seen that they were bringing out all these foils, I was like, we don't need those, but they really look at that. They really do look nice, shiny,
sexy.
I do like a foil cover, but the only thing they do not bode well in CGC. Yeah. That's the only thing.
The Newton rings, is it? Is it Newton rings and stuff?
Yeah.
Actually, I was wondering that because I got a Spider-Man book and it wasn't bagged or boarded naturally from Forbidden Planet, and because of the foil cover, it naturally kind of bends out.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. And I was wondering, do you get marked down for that at CGC? Because you can't press it flat because it's the kind of the foil of the cover, I guess.
I would imagine, I don't know for certain, but my assumption would be is only if it gets to the point where it actually causes the creases and where it's actually bending over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that I had one of them. I took it out and it started to bend because of the heat. And it was almost, remember those little sort of paper fishies that you used to get? They all curled up and started rolling about in your hand. That's what that looked like.
But yeah, no, I do like a full cover. So yeah, but yeah, the facsimiles, like I like this part because I'm partial to a facsimile. Probably because I'm never going to own the original.
I was thinking of adding one more section maybe for the next time or whenever we get the chance, just for blank covers. So because there's always at least 2 or 3 different blank covers that comes out, and I know that there's specific people that pick those up for like commissions and stuff like that. So we might want to feature that as well.
There we go. All ASM 300 and Holt 1814s have the insane bend, but I'm passing out 9/8 on them. Oh, nice. Okay. Cool. Nice. Right.
I
So
don't think I got a Hulk 181. I might have to. Well, I've got the original, obviously, but I might have to check out the facsimile one. I don't think I've got the.
I love the way you lined that up there, Peter. That was beautiful. That had nothing to do with the fact that you didn't have the reprint.
No, because I'm thinking I wouldn't mind a foil one from James. I might have to get in touch if he's got any foil 181s left.
give him a little ding. I'm sure he'll sort you out. Right. I'm not the biggest fan of fowls. Fowls. Okay.
Ducks, bastards, aren't they?
Think they dull the covers and make the art look better. Yeah, foils. There we go, foils. So here we are. So we are at the end of the show. So this is where we kind of do a bit of housekeeping. So you can follow me over on Instagram at Geeky Guy Comics, twitter.com over at Geeky Guy Comics. And you've got Tom, who is not quite mint, Tom Malin _PT, and then he's got not quite mint. YouTube royalty. What have you got for us?
I've got a video going out tomorrow.
About you.
We've got a video going out tomorrow, which is looking at our favourite He-Man characters. Friday night, over on One Good Scare, we've got our review of Valentine. You guys seen that movie? Remember Valentine? Yeah. So we reviewed that. Put out this week on my channel, my new segment, I Can View This All Day, which is looking at Captain America 1990, which is I thought it was a good film. James didn't like it. Then
James
Saturday,
hated it.
James hated it. I hated it. He was visibly angry and shouting when we were recording.
He nearly went as red as you.
He did, yeah, nearly. Saturday, we've got Saturday Night Live, and then Monday, we've got our art show where we're doing amalgamations of characters, so that should be fun.
Yeah. Nice. And then obviously you can follow Andy. Where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at perpetual.comics and on Twitter at perpetualcomics.
Nice, where you're actually putting out loads of stuff at the moment, which is good to see. And then you can head over and see James at slabcrusaders.com, and then the Facebook groups Slab Crusaders, and you can get all your bargains and everything there. There's no chance that you're going to get a comic for £2.63 bagged and boarded by putting in SC Aliens. So yeah, why not do that? Head over there and tell them that the guys at the Killer Comic Show sent you. So with that said, we're back tomorrow night. Every single week you enjoy us for 2 nights a week. We are back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Dungeons, Dragons and Deers. Oh dear. Now, yeah, we're what are we reviewing? We're reviewing Dear Editor issue number 1 and Dungeons and Dragons issue number 1 as well. From the looks of Andy and Peter's face, you could probably see that tomorrow's show's going to be great. But we will save that for you tomorrow, because
Charlie doesn't know because he's not read the book yet. I think you're planning on doing that tonight, Charlie. So
yes, I am.
Let's just say, guys, that tomorrow will be an interesting conversation about these 2 books.
What I normally do is I read the books when they first come out, and then I reread them the day of the show, so it's fresh in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that this week.
Well, from based on what you said, I might not even just read them. I might just sit back and go, yeah, it was great. What have you guys got to say? But yeah, that's it. Thank fuck it's Wednesday. We will be back same time next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and we will go through the Slab Crusaders FOC. If there's anything that you've kind of noticed that you want to pick up, head over to SCC Slab Crusaders now, pick up the comics that you want, and you've got until 9 o'clock every Sunday night to get your orders in. Otherwise, you will lose them and they will be lost forever, and you will only be able to purchase them on Evil Bay.
And we don't want that. And also, if there's been any books that we've maybe missed on FOC that you guys are picking up that you would recommend, then let us know. And just another little piece of housekeeping, just smash that like button as they do. And if you're not already subscribed, that'd be great. And also go and make sure that you give a high five to James at the Slab Crusade, because I think he mentioned he done a video. He has his own channel, so make sure that you go and sub him up. And he was doing a bit of a chat about the books that he'd got in, and he was talking about I'm going to say the word Triple G community, and the fact that, wow, you look like 1980s porn star there with that background. My goodness. Jesus. So yeah, please do that, and I can't fucking concentrate what I'm going to say.
What's going on here?
What's doing this?
No, but yeah, head over to Slab Crusaders. Give James, like, he invests so much time into giving us, like, the comics in the best possible condition and putting so much time and effort to making sure that it, like, what he sends off comes to 9.8s. His video last night, the 9.9s and 10s, was an enjoyable watch. So massive shout out to you for doing that, mate. But yeah, give the thumbs up, subscribe, comment. It all helps the algorithm. And yeah, just crack on, do what you got to do, read the comics, and we shall see you next week. And for now, why don't you all just fuck off?
Oh.
See you later.